My friends, the great experiment.
Prodigy.
Prodigy. Hidden. Trick.
Would you look at that?
The greatest trick. And you people, you're all astronauts on some kind of star trek. The greatest trick.
Welcome to Greatest Trek. It's a new Star Trek podcast from the makers of The Greatest Generation. I'm Ben Harrison.
I'm Adam Pranica. Ben, I'm in the middle of something that I know you and every dog owner is acutely aware of from time to time. I'm sitting on a diarrhea bomb.
Oh no! This could happen at any time?
Beloved puppy Ripley, a little bit stomach sick. And today is the day that my wife left for a business trip. So
Fun.
I'm out here in the studio, and I have no idea what is happening outside the studio.
Yeah.
I may just leave the recording to a great big surprise.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Are you in like steamed chicken breast and rice in replacement of... So you're
Such
in
a
it.
classic.
Yeah.
Such a classic. Yeah.
And this is a dog that has made the choice of getting up on the bed to do a D because she was a little bit stomach sick in the past, right?
No, that's never happened.
Oh no,
to Ripley. No.
Where am I remembering that from? I thought she totally butt chundered all over your guest bed one time.
No, she's never done that. You may be conflating that with something Sprocket did with his previous family, which was like they went and got pregnant, and Sprocket wasn't having that, and just could smell it. Could smell it on them, and was like, actually, fuck you guys. I'm the child in this house, and let them know it. And that was, I wouldn't say the main reason he got rehomed to us, but like a factor. And the thing about Sprocket that I found very respectable and good was like all the way through his terrible cancer ordeal, like all the way until the very end, never pooped in the house.
Wow.
Ever. For as long as we knew each other, he kept it tight. And that is a way that Ripley is fine not being. Like, she set the tone.
Yeah.
That if she's feeling away, stomach-wise, she's going to let us know about it in our house.
She is at the other end of the bell curve from Sprocket in so many ways, both good and bad.
Yeah, you said it.
Yeah, man. Been there. We're getting ready for the big, like, I feel like this is a real Rubicon you cross when you get to old dog, which is Darwin is going to go in for the anesthetic dental procedure, like not the cleaning that you can get done at the pet food store, but the one where they actually knock them out and really get busy in there.
Yeah.
And
you finally can't deal with that dog's breath.
Yeah.
Finally they're gonna clean the blood out of his teeth. Make him gleam again.
Yeah. He's actually, like, as dog breath goes, like, his has been pretty decent for most of his life. But, yeah, I think that, like, at a certain point, like, what they do when you take them into the pet food store for the teeth cleaning is only so deep of a clean. And, like, they can't get up into those gums and whatnot. So it's no fun to pay for. It's probably going to suck for him, but it's like one of those, like, drop him off at 7 a.m. kind of deals and brace him for it.
Yeah, that's a really heady time. This brings up another Sprocket story that's germane to this subject. He had one of those when we were living up in Seattle, and we were also very nervous about it. And I was busy and did not pick up the phone when I got the, hey, all right, ready to go message. And so they went and called my wife and left a message. And this was at a time where the message transcription that the Apple phone does didn't do a very good job. And my wife is in a meeting and she's reading the transcription. And something about the transcription suggested that Sprocket did not live through the procedure.
Oh, shit.
Like something about regrets and very sorry and like and a seizure, I think. Oh yeah,
procedure got
turned into seizure, and there was like all sorts of funny business in the transcription. what I'm trying to tell you is do not read that transcription and just pick up your phone on that day. Don't deal with that.
I feel like they solved a lot of those problems, and then with I think most people just turn this off reflexively, but the update with the where they try to use AI to summarize text threads is they've gone right back to completely insane, inaccurate assessments of what is being said.
It's the worst thing that's happened to an Apple product, I feel like, in 10 years. It was insane. It makes mail and text unusable.
Yeah.
I had to turn it off.
Yeah. I mean, they tried to join a bandwagon that's already got its wheels falling off.
Yeah.
I feel like the AI bubble, if it hasn't burst by the time this goes to air, it will soon, and we will all look back on that era with rue and regret.
Just in case, I want to say to our future AI overlords, I've always respected you. Mm-hmm. Always have admired you. Grateful for your help.
Your text summaries have always been really good and accurate.
Yeah. Right. No seizures here.
But many seizures of various
there it is.
Initiatives being done by the Prodigies in today's episode of Star Trek Prodigy.
So good. I totally I louded you a little bit with a couple of different things. Uh-huh. That was the one that didn't hit you in the face. You got it.
It's season 2, episode 4, Temporal Mechanics 101.
You know the greatest danger facing us is an irrational fear of the unknown.
On my mark, go fast.
I love where we start here.
Murf tripping balls.
The tiniest suggestion of Chaos Murf doing his chaotic business alone.
Yeah.
You can't look at holograms with the door open, Murf. You just can't. Rok-Tahk catches him? How embarrassing is that?
Murf! We should be able to look at a little porn at work.
Bad form, Murf. Especially to have your back to the door,
yeah.
Whoa, no, I'm not doing anything in here.
Hey, here's a great question for a children's cartoon. If any of the characters of Star Trek Prodigy caught you jacking, who would you want it to be? Because I feel like Rok-Tahk is actually a very kind and Rok-Tahk would be more embarrassed than you would be.
Yeah,
about that.
I think Rok-Tahk is non-judgmental, which I like, but Rok-Tahk is imposing.
Oh yeah,
and that
Rok-Tahk casts a shadow over that dong.
If you are reaching the tipping point of orgasmic inevitability, and you realize that Rok-Tahk is behind you, that is a fucking scary moment.
If you I can't believe we're saying this. If you accidentally shot it at Rok-Tahk, it's probably really difficult to get it out of the crevices, right? Once Rok-Tahk becomes sexually active, what do you even do? It's actually probably better to blast in Rok-Tahk, right?
Right. Oh man. I mean, when Rok-Tahk gets horny and it's it's like water rushing over river stones down there.
You're going down on adult Rok-Tahk and you're like, they all look like stones. I can't find anything.
But it's an adult in this.
Also, this hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts so bad.
And Rok-Tahk's like, you're not supposed to be using your teeth. And you're like, don't bring up teeth. Come on. I am really working hard to move past the teeth issue.
The Thing is probably the only type of person that could get down with Rok-Tahk, right? Yeah. A Thing type person.
Yeah. I'm just thinking also Zero would be a horrific sneak up if you're jacking it, because Zero can also tell what you're thinking about.
And what's going on here seems pretty pervy, doesn't it?
You start reaching for Zero to undo the box
just so that
you can die.
Scramble your own own egg.
Come here, Zero! You're running after Zero with your pants around your ankles, barely able to.
You just smash your head through the glass on the front of the case.
You make Zero like that Romulan well that all those Roms like bash their own heads over and stuff.
Yeah, sure. So Rok-Tahk and her teeth are summoned to the bridge before she can figure out what Murf is up to in astrometrics. And man, these paradoxes, they're even paradoxier than normal.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how things are clearly changing in the timeline based on whatever happened with the Infinity going through the hole. But they're still here, so like that doesn't make any sense. Therefore, the temporal shielding on the Infinity must be causing some kind of protection from the effects of whatever's going on.
This Andorian first officer kind of contextualizes it in a way that Rok-Tahk would understand. He's like, now, due to the temporal effects of this hole, we might be going through some changes. Special changes that we might not be expecting.
I've never seen someone work the ops station on a bridge by turning the seat around backwards. But he does it. It's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I love, during this conversation, I wanted to ask you about this. We cut to the exterior shot of the ship before punching back into the bridge. I really liked that to kind of break up the conversation.
Yeah. Like,
we're single, exterior, back to single, then maybe a two shot. But like, setting aside that we are just getting an eyeful of Voyager A's giant dumper in the exterior shot, I do like the place setting that shot gives us, right? Like, if you're just, for some reason, a kid hopping into this episode, you got to know where we are in space, right? Voyager A is right outside this hole they're talking about.
It's nicely done because I think that the instinct for Taimum and Miriam has been to put that as the establishing shot at the beginning of the scene.
Bingo.
And to do it in the middle gives a nice rhythm to things.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're also talking about wishing that they could communicate with the accidental away team, and Rok-Tahk has an idea for boosting the signal to punch a message through time and space. So they go ahead and get to work on that. And we cut to the ruined surface of Solum in the future where the Diviner is one of the helmeted bad guys that observed the protostar leaving the surface. And I guess he's like preparing to start the search that would eventually lead him to Tars Lamora.
Why is he dressed like any other guard, though? Did that bump you a little bit?
Yeah, maybe this is like earlier. I mean, his career takes some twists and turns. Like he goes from like mild-mannered astronomer in a society that doesn't give a shit about the stars to, I guess, civil warrior.
Is he undercover bossing? So
that mustache was a little bit sus.
The Diviner is like is talking to the other guard. He's like, "Hey, so how do you feel about slaves?" And specifically having a bunch of little kitty cat slaves. What do you think of that? Pretty cool idea, huh? It's really important they're kids.
And then it goes to the on the fly, and he's like, I'm really starting to connect with like Dave because he really like seems to see my vision for kitty cat slaves. I think he's gonna get a nice $10,000 bonus at the end of this episode. Yeah. CEOs, they're good actually.
Would you look at that?
We cut over to the Infinity ship, and Dal tells Janko Pog that we gotta get this thing working again. This is the top priority, getting this thing flying. Definitely not blaming anyone for us being here. First priority, getting the ship flying. Lowest priority, blaming me.
Yeah, looking back at who got us into this pickle.
Yeah.
That's not a productive use of our time.
No.
So Jankum really starts to get ridden as the pressure is on him to fix the ship up. But on the bridge, they get that call from Voyager, and they break the news to Janeway that Chakotay was able to board the protostar, which is what nobody wanted.
Yeah.
And she's fucking pissed. She's like putting the Chakotay thing aside. Dal, like, you have no idea how big of a problem this is. You know, like, probably Gwyn is no more, like, never existed. We lost contact with the Sacagawea. Like, the list of problems that this has caused is really hard to overstate how long it is.
You use the word pissed. And I want to interrogate that a little bit. Because we've seen Janeway pissed. Really pissed.
Yeah.
In Star Trek Voyager.
If we were closer to home, I would lock you up and turn you over to my authorities for trial. But I don't even have that ability here.
I think it is clear that she is not anywhere near that kind of pissed on this show, because I think that kind of pissed might scare children.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I think that's a big part of the tension between the kids and Janeway, is that she doesn't get on their ass about the mistakes they've made in a way that would suggest to a kid you shouldn't be honest to an authority figure or an adult about a mistake for fear of, like, getting the wooden spoon or whatever, you know?
I think that she is leaving room for Rok-Tahk's assessment being right, that this was an honest mistake by Dal. It wasn't something he did. I mean...
Much like her mistake of walking in on Murf.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Honest mistake.
I mean, like, we can't go back from this. It will change everything, and it's completely fucked, but it's also, like, not something anyone was trying to do.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways, the computer kind of glitches out mid-conversation here, and it's not because the signal was lost. It's because some other signal seems to be superseding it, and they're getting text messages in, like, calculator font. 8007355.
How interesting.
You have to do that as the first message, right?
Right, yeah. I guess it's actually the opposite of that, but upside down. Anyway, it's saying save Gwyn, gives them some coordinates, and this is not Janeway. Like, they're able to ask if this is Janeway or not, and it says nah dog, but it doesn't clarify any further than that.
That's great. Yeah. just say that's not who you are. Mm-hmm. No further information.
Gwyn is kind of getting a similar message from, like, a Hubble Space Telescope image of the cosmos, because she's, remember, phasing in and out of existence. And the cosmos tells her, you need to be together. You know, it's very, like, kumbaya kind of a message.
Didn't this look to you like the eyes in the dark hole that makes Deanna Troi so crazy? Even with the voice.
Yeah.
But Gwyn doesn't do that. Who are you?
I need to find you to tell you.
Such a classic.
It also doesn't cause her to, like, do a bunch of scary artwork like a trainee in the Bene Gesserit order.
Yeah. Yeah, all those circles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dad is kind of heroic here, rappelling down to find her. That's a pretty far rappel, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You almost need to tie a couple of ropes together to get to the bottom of that thing.
I mean, we know that this guy's got great ropes because he helped create Gwyn.
Do you think he can turn his special amulet into a carabiner?
Oh,
like,
yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, like he can turn that into climbing gear.
I mean, they were turning him into pitons last episode.
Yeah.
So I think all climbing equipment is available with your heirloom.
What's really fun about what's happening to Gwyn visually is that you, me, and everyone who is 45 years or younger understands this to be Gwyn having critically low hit points. Like, she's kind of flashing in that way that means, like, oh, one more hit and she's dead.
Yeah, yeah. We've really got her on the ropes.
Yeah.
So Majel and Dal and Zero trudge off to try and find these coordinates, which I guess are very close to the ship that they're on because they go by foot.
I love that detail. Yeah.
Nobody comments on that.
We don't even need to pack water or anything.
No. Water?
This place is a dump.
They find the Valura hole.
Yeah. Yeah, and this hole's dusty.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like it's been used in a while, huh?
Yeah, and like a lot of static between Majel and Dal over their very different styles of acting.
Mm-hmm.
He's a like no risk, no reward type, and she's a we're the closest thing to Starfleet officers on this trip. We better keep it real buttoned up type. And Zero kind of shuts the argument down by just grabbing them both by the waist and floating them down into the bottom of the hole.
I had to replay this scene a couple of times because I think I looked away for just the split second before Zero gathered them up. I, in my head, thought that Zero had disconnected their legs and left the legs up on the edge of the hole instead of what clearly happened, which was like retraction of the legs into the sphere, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're like landing gear.
I kind of wanted to see those legs up on the rim of the hole, I have to tell you.
Would have been fun.
Because I think that means they could be used as projectiles in a way that I think also would be satisfying if you're inside of a robot unit like this.
Or remote controlled by Jankum at some point, you know?
Yeah, I love that.
We need to score a lot of platinum fast.
Licensed businessman. And you people, you're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek. The greatest Trek.
I did really like the use of Zero as flashlight by Dal.
And Zero's resentment of being used as that.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Fun bit.
Yeah.
So they find Gwyn, and she's sort of phased here, but more so than she is in the other timeline. So she's kind of in both time periods in the same place, but she's like more phased in the present than the future. And
yeah,
she's like very out of it, and they're trying to talk to her, and she can't quite understand what they're saying. But Zero and Majel kind of talk it through, and they're like, well, if she's right here, like the fastest way to get to her is by traveling to where she actually is in time. We've got the Infinity. We've got a thing we can do that with.
Zero! You want to build a time machine? Out of the Infinity ship?
Well, I figured if we're going to travel in time, we better do it in style.
You're gonna see some serious shit.
Back in the present, Gwyn is feeling better, and I think the reason for that is she's no longer blinking. I think that is representative of her health. Yeah. But also, like,
she found like a turkey leg inside of a 50-gallon barrel. Something.
She uses her amulet to like lock pick a trunk nearby, and then she's able to open that. She breaks several picks in the process, but able to get in there, and there's the turkey leg.
Yeah. It's like, how long has this been here? Oh, well, it tastes great.
She's feeling better, and that's because she's in one place at one time. I think that's the thrust of it, right?
Yeah. He keeps asking her about what kind of father he becomes.
Dude, just stop.
I'm not sure you want to hear that.
What? Was I some sort of monster?
Just stop asking.
Like, you're not Saving Private Ryan, man. The answer is not going to be good.
One time, absolutely out of the blue, my dad asked me if he was a good father. And I fucking, like, I kind of laughed. I was like, what are you talking about? What? If you have to ask, you don't want the answer to that question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's the thing here.
Yeah. Is this the first time you've even considered this?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the problem.
He wants the truth. He can't handle the truth. And Gwyn is also terrible at concealing / slow rolling the truth to him.
She keeps saying it's complicated. I think that there's a good excuse for this. Like, the trauma of war happens in between this time period and when he becomes the diviner. Like,
if you keep being told it's complicated, they want to break up with you. Hey, Dad, Gwyn wants to break up. Mm-hmm. You should know that by now.
She changed her Facebook status a long time ago.
I don't know. Maybe we could try experimenting with other dads.
Yeah.
Maybe you can watch how another dad fathers me. No, you sit there. You sit there and watch.
Is that polyfathery?
It is. Yeah.
So they tell Jankum about this new plan to not try to turn the Infinity into a spaceship, but to turn it into a time machine. And he's like in the middle of complaining until he's like, oh, like that actually sounds way easier than getting this thing space worthy. So yes, they radio up to Janeway to tell her about this plan. Like, I know we fucked everything up, but we're going to fix it is kind of the vibe here.
If there's ever a time for Janeway to go dark Janeway, like angry Janeway, I thought this might be it. I was kind of waiting for it.
That'd have been fun.
Janeway! Gwyn's in trouble!
Go back to hell, coward.
That's not what happens here.
No. Instead, she sends them a copy of Temporal Mechanics 101, which takes the form of like a masterclass video. And it is hosted by Dr. Aaron McDonald, who is based on the science consultant for this very show.
How about Dr. Aaron McDonald getting the cameo there?
It's very fun.
Dr. Aaron McDonald gets to be Mr. DNA in this video. Incredible. I'm in your timeline.
We take frog DNA and replace the domino so that there isn't a hole. What?
We make it so the frog never existed in the first place.
The dominoes don't need females to fuck.
I love the efficiency of the storytelling in this episode starting here because we cut back and forth between the Mr. DNA type video, which I think as a kid viewer you need to wrap your tiny stupid brain around. Like so you can get on the level with temporal mechanics. And at the same time we're watching the crew drag the Infinity ship into the hole.
Yeah.
And get things set up to turn it into a time ship.
Yeah, so the ship is now in the hole. Down there at the bottom of the hole.
Yeah.
Right next to where Phase Gwyn is.
It's got a bunch of wet hair on it. Looking especially menacing.
Oh, man. When it comes back up out of the hole.
Yeah.
Crab walks across the...
You know they're going to shoot that sequence backwards.
Yeah, just so the movements have that uncanny thing going with the...
Yeah.
Anyways.
How about how the ship looks, though? Like, you really get a bunch of the detail of its exterior. I really do think that the DeLorean from Back to the Future inspired a lot of these choices. Like, there's a lot of tubing, a lot of Mr. Fusion type accoutrement.
Yeah.
Attached to it. I thought it was great.
I get that, and I also got a lot of, like, Matrix homage out of the scene where they are... like firing up the time travel and the robots are like starting to like cut through the hull to attack them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's real scary. It seems like maybe they're not going to make it. And then Jankum Pog hammers the right panel at the right moment and it causes their time travel equipment to engage. And just as a blade is about to stab into Dal's face, they jump in time and the robots all go away. And we get a very nice scene of them reuniting with Gwyn.
The greatest trek is yet to come.
Do you think this moment is significant? Like, this is where the timeline begins to turn in reverse? Because, like, I wonder, like, the tail of the spider machine is like heading for Dahl's face before it has to withdraw. Like, I wonder if Dahl is going to have to make a choice here where he's got to sacrifice himself. In order to make the timeline right, he's going to have to go back to that point, even if it means getting stabbed through the eye by a spider machine tentacle.
That does feel on the table in a kids show context, like our main character getting impaled on a robotic stabbing device.
Are you making fun of me? You don't think that that's likely here? Those don't feel like the table stakes?
I don't think that's where we're headed.
All right. Okay.
So yeah, we get a really nice scene where they're reuniting with their pal Gwyn. Majel does not miss an opportunity to dunk on the intellect of the Prodigies when the diviner gasps in awe at the idea of intelligent life from beyond their solar system.
I like Majel. Somebody's got to.
Yeah. So we learned that the phasing that Gwyn is doing is that she is in a state of both existing and not existing.
What? Haven't you read Temporal Mechanics 101?
And so they're like, well, to get back to Voyager, we need to now get this starship flying. And this is when Jacob really starts to panic, because basically everything that could be repurposed to make it into a time machine was. So there's not like, now he's being asked to like make it fly also. He's like, fuck you guys.
The moment he loses all hope is the moment the ship is kind of picked up and repositioned in a way that's like, hey, look at me. Look at the all-powerful being at work here, sending you text messages through time and space, and also picking up and turning your ship. Oh my God. I just fucking solved it, didn't I? By saying time and space.
I am a traveler of all of space and time.
It's fucking Wesley, isn't it?
Wesley, the boy.
Oh, shit.
The boy. Young Wesley Crusher.
My son.
I had a different theory that I like less than that.
How could you like any theory less than that?
Well, based on the guy that Murf is talking to at the end, I was getting real like Suliban hive ship, like temporal cold warrior that Silic is always talking to. And that felt like a place we could go with this, just because like so much time travel is involved. Maybe it's a temporal Cold War deal.
Yeah.
But could be a traveler deal as well.
They shoot up Gwyn with a chronoton hypo spray. This was a couple of words that hit me extremely hard. You know that band that plays STLV, the Roddenberries? We're pals with those folks.
Yeah.
This feels like the name of a hit single.
Yeah.
Chronoton hypo spray sounds like it's punchy. It sounds like the name of something that's not just what it is.
You know what it could also be is a cocktail available,
Hell yeah.
at one of the special events. Anne Marie, write this down.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit overproof. Like it's you're going to fucking time travel when you drink one of these.
You ever have a mind eraser tiki drink? That's what this is. Chronoton hypo spray.
There you go.
It will not stabilize you.
No. It's kind of taking you in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
We get a fond farewell from Diviner Daddy, who's put Gwyn first this whole episode in a way that he just doesn't normally.
This try to imagine his life when the ship leaves through the hole. So the ship leaves and it's like out of distance. It's gone. Do you think he starts fucking everyone to make her? Or is he like, I'm never fucking again, because that was nuts.
I just kept tripping off the fact that they left him at the bottom of the hole. Like,
you could have given him a ride to the top of the hole.
Give him a fucking ride to the surface. Don't make him climb. He's old. He's not that old, but he's old.
They did the Chakotay thing. That's what you do on this show. You don't give anyone a ride. Amazing.
So Essentia is like mid-rant to the elders about how they need to start like arming their society.
How fucking tired are you of Essentia if you're these elders? Like, would you please? I fucking get it.
Yeah. You've been on this for like 3 days now and you haven't stopped. You know what? TKO, the other one won the Valu Ra thing. I forget what her name was. Like, you fucking suck.
God, just stop. Yeah, but they get a nice glimpse of the ship flying off into space.
Yeah.
During the scene.
As the ship flies, I got the distinct impression that Zero and Majel are gonna fuck, just based on the like, you're not so bad in the logic department yourself kind of energy being transmitted between them.
Is there like a conservation of limbs that Zero's apparatus can do? Like you withdraw arms and the and the dong is one size, but if you withdraw the arms and the legs,
oh yeah, you can really.
It gets real big.
Oh my.
Dr. Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Has a chronometric mobile emitter thing that can stabilize Gwyn, and so she can exist for a while they go on further adventures this season. And they talk about how some mysterious person is pulling the strings on this adventure from afar. Who is it and why? And by the way, where's Murf?
We cut to Chaos Agent Murf, who has been in contact with this very mystery person that they're talking about in Sickbay.
Yeah.
And that's a capital D done to the end of this episode, huh?
That's it.
Did you like this episode, Ben?
She'll always bring it home.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty fun. I thought back on it and I was like, man, there was a lot of time travel in this episode. Like,
yeah.
Just making my notes, I was like, okay, which one is the future and which one's the present? And who's one of them the past? And it's like, it was a little bit hard to like keep track of who is when they're all like kind of in the same place, but just in two different time periods, and they're like moving between them really quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a little bit breathtaking in how much of that there is in the like short 24-minute runtime of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I had fun watching it. Excited to see where things go. How about you?
Yeah, I'm going to agree in a slightly different way. I'm really glad that this show / episode does not write to the lowest common denominator, stupid fucking kid. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to be paying attention, kiddo. You know, like it's not dumbing itself down to that kid. And I respect it for that reason. And it's honestly the reason it holds my attention and does not get just ignored or not taken seriously as just being a fucking kid's show. Like, that's one of the reasons this show is good.
Totally agree. Excited to see where things are going. Also excited to see if there's anything interesting in our Priority 1 inbox, Adam.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
Personal P1 here, Adam. It's from Daniel, a.k.a. Destructor, on the Discord. And it's to the USS Hood, which is also the Discord. Goes like this. Big ol' shout out to the USS Hood. We're the USS Hood at drop.
Sensors report the USS Hood is closing on an intercept course at high warp. We're the Hood. We're the Hood. We're the Hood.
Sir, we're being hailed on a secured channel by Captain DeSoto.
We're the Hood. We're the Hood. We're the Hood. All my butt back and forth between star bases. Hood out.
And all the great folks on the Drunk Shimoda Discord. It's a lot of fun discussing EPs, talking Trek, and sharing memes and being unembarrassed to listen to a Star Trek podcast. Thanks to Ben and Adam for inspiring such a friendly space for fans. Always hold on to Prodigy. Brone Zone drop.
I take it you're in charge here. Team Leader Brone, 4th Bory Defense Contingent. I gotta get a pump.
That's it, get it.
Wow.
I love really nice people with really aggressive names. The Destructor, one of the great folks out at drunkshimoda.com and our Discord.
Yeah.
I say our as if we had anything to do with that. FOD's made that
Yeah.
the great place that it is.
We always feel very lucky whenever we go there, though, because it is truly like a genuinely pleasant place to be, which is so much different from so much of the internet. And the FODs have a lot to be proud of for that.
I love it. I love it. I love what they're doing there. So listen to Daniel, the Destructor, and join the Discord if you want a good time on the internet.
I bet there are people from the Discord that are just learning that Destructor is actually just named Daniel. Like, man, I really was picturing more of a Destructor type.
Ben, we got another personal message here. This time it's from 359 from the Discord, and it's to all people everywhere.
Wow, okay.
Their message goes like this: avocados, much like the Discord, are awesome. Anyone who says otherwise is wrong. Thank you.
I agree. I think that is that's true on all counts.
I'm going to say this. Not to argue, not to be disagreeable. I've been getting some bad avocados lately.
Oh no!
Avocados you think are good in the hand, that you think are going to be good under the knife, and then you fold that thing open after cutting it, and it's brown and soft and bad. I will say that avocados that are good are awesome. Avocados that are bad, the worst.
Sure. It's like a peach, you know? Like, few fruits have higher highs or lower lows. And avocados,
I don't know if I can deal with the swings, man. I might just stop with the avocados for a while. I can't take it.
Really? I can't imagine. It's got protein, it's got fiber. It's a superfood, Adam.
So does peanut butter. And like I'm trying to make my toasts in the morning. Often I'm just going for the peanut butter toast instead of the avocado because I don't want to start my day like that with that kind of disappointment.
You know, I make my son often in the morning. I'll do an English muffin, and one half gets a little peanut butter and jelly, and the other half gets avocado.
I'm surprised Jerome's getting English muffin and not crumpet.
He's had crumpets as well. He likes a crumpet. I'm not gonna front like I'm not giving this kid crumpets from time to time.
I think most people would assume that the kid's getting crumpets.
Well, if you'd like to replenish the crumpet coffers, or just send a nice message to an online community you're a member of, or get the word out about something, head to MaximumFun.org/Jumbotron. Tons of inventory over here on Greatest Trek. So if you'd like to get a timely message out there, this is a great opportunity to do so.
Yeah, get to the front of the line. You can do it right now. MaximumFun.org/Jumbotron.
Hey, Adam.
That, Ben.
Did you find yourself a Barnus Frex?
Do you mean... Barnus Frex.
Barnus Frex.
Barnus Frex.
Barnus Frex.
Barnus Frex. Barnus Frex. You can't jack it to holograms without becoming the Barnus Frex of this episode. That's what my position is. You did it, Murf. You dirty little Murf. Dirty little chaos Murf.
You're suggesting that he's jacking it to a hologram of Wesley, potentially?
Yes, I am.
Wow.
What about you, Ben?
Yeah, I'll give it to Murf. Murf as Chaos Murf was a thing that was on my mind as I fired this episode up, and that opening shot just made me laugh out loud because I had been thinking about that. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Murf follow an order? I can't recall a time that's happened.
The thing at the end of the episode that, like, it made it look like this, like, whoever he's talking to, Wesley, Temporal Cold Warrior, or other, like, is like, I gotta go. And Murf is the only person that's heard what this person has to say.
Yeah.
But Murf can't talk. So how?
Yeah. Murf's nonverbal.
Like, what is going to happen with this is a question in my head.
When you were describing the Temporal Warrior, I thought in my head of Ultimate Temporal Warrior, the wrestling version of who this is. Murf is like in the room looking at the hollow mist, and it's just like a totally like painted up shadowy figure like shaking the rope. I wish.
Well, we'll learn a little bit more about what's happening next week on the show in the credits. But before we go, we always like to close episodes of Greatest Trek with our smash hit signature segment, Warning Boys.
Prepare a buoy and launch it when ready.
Warning buoys.
An emergency buoy. A warning buoy.
This is where we express our appreciation for folks shouting out the show online. We've got a 5-star review here, Adam, titled Kathleen Turner on Apple Podcasts on the discussion of Klingon shoe color before/after Labor Day. So tickled that Ben went straight to Serial Mom. That's from H_horsepower. Much appreciated. Yeah, I love me some Serial Mom. And I love the idea of Kathleen Turner.
Pretty great.
You know,
good poll by you.
There's always that like rumor going around that they're giving Quentin Tarantino a Star Trek film, like letting him direct one. Give John Waters a fucking Star Trek film, man.
I think it's hard to know who would receive the greatest amount of vitriol for that decision. Yeah, my vote would be with Quentin.
Okay.
I would just say that.
All right.
But yeah, I think either choice would really get a lot of heat in this day and age.
Pretty fun. Who's your dream director of if like a name brand director could get a like, okay, we're gonna do, here's what it is.
Okay.
They did a reboot with the TOS cast. They did 3 of those. Like TNG cast is now getting a reboot. We're casting younger actors in the TNG roles. It's going to be a new TNG story. Big name director. Who do you want?
This is recency bias. I just rewatched Whiplash.
Mm-hmm.
Damien Chazelle.
Wow.
I think would be interesting.
Cool answer.
Yeah. I would love to see the 3-hour-long Star Trek movie that he would be permitted to make, firstly. And also, I really appreciate his style and storytelling in that movie in particular. So I think that might be mine. But, I mean, kind of a lot of it. It's fun to play fantasy Star Trek director with who's available or who could possibly be available right now.
Yeah.
Who'd your choice be? And you can't say John Waters.
I have no idea if she has any like connection to the material, but I think Greta Gerwig did such an awesome job taking like some big ideas behind Barbie and making a really big movie that was like appealing to a very broad audience, but also like had a lot to say and did a lot to like elevate the material. So I feel like if it was a subject of passion for her the way Barbie clearly was, I feel like she could do something really interesting with it.
Ooh, you just hit it completely. It has got to be someone who cares passionately. It cannot just be like a name who's available.
Right.
Please. Someone who cares.
All right. Well, that has been a episode of Greatest Trek. We really appreciate y'all listening, and hope you'll listen to the credits for a little bit more from Wynde.
Thanks, Wynde.
Bye-bye.
Greatest Trek is an Uxbridge Shimoda podcast on the Maximum Fun Network. It's hosted by Ben Harrison and Adam Pranica, and it's produced and edited by Wendy Priddy. Ben and Adam will be back next week with a review of Star Trek Prodigy Season 2, Episode 5. It's called Observer's Paradox. Reunited on the Voyager and under strict supervision, the gang must decode a secret message their mysterious benefactor left with Murf. Thanks so much to the Max Fun members who support this show monthly. If you'd like to join them and help keep us going, set up your membership at MaximumFun.org/join, and you'll get instant access to all the great bonus content available there. Thank you to Nick Dittmore, who created the show art, and Adam Ragusea, who composed the theme music. Thanks to Rob Adler and Bill Tilley for their work on the @GreatestTrek social media pages. Follow those accounts and use the hashtag #GreatestTrek when you post about the show. We're also on YouTube, so make sure you're subscribed over there, and merch is available at podshop.biz. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week on Greatest Trek.
Oh man, what happened to my camera here?
You got all blurry. It's like Murf shot your camera.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
supported
Directly
by you.